Hi guys, so I'm here to do my week 7 vlog, so my week 6 to 7. And in the last vlog I said that morning sickness had started, and I'd started like feeling sick all the time, but I hadn't actually thrown up. And I was using the spit pot to try and control the vomiting, which was working quite successfully at that point. Well, I was worried about turning 7 weeks because I knew that that's normally when morning sickness really kicks in, or hyperemesis starts, for me anyway, based on my past. So I was a bit concerned. Kids are very hyper. I was a bit concerned that I was going to become very unwell. Well, I didn't even make it to 7 weeks. I got to like 6 weeks and like 4 days. And I became really severely unwell. The morning sickness just went up a whole different level. It went from feeling sick and trying to stop myself from throwing up and having really bad upset stomach and stuff like that, and being very sensitive to smells and not really fancying very much food. It went from that to full-blown vomiting constantly, and I mean constant vomiting. It would get to the point where I couldn't stop vomiting, and even when there was nothing to vomit up, I couldn't stop heaving and retching to be sick, and my stomach muscles were so sore from just constantly vomiting. I was having really bad diarrhea as well, and I was basically stuck in the bathroom and couldn't leave because it was basically so gross. It's basically coming on both ends at the same time, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't keep anything down. I couldn't drink any fluids and keep them down. Anything I put in my mouth, I would immediately gag it up, and couldn't take my vitamins, nothing, couldn't take anything. I couldn't swallow my own saliva at all, and despite me constantly spitting it out, obviously some of it I was swallowing, and my stomach just couldn't have it in there. So basically, it was really, really bad. I became very weak and dehydrated, and I couldn't do anything at all. I think the worst day for me was I'd been up all through the night vomiting and having diarrhea, and you know when you've got like a really intense stomach bug, like the flu, and you're full on vomiting with diarrhea constantly, like every 20 minutes. Well, it was like that, but all the time, every day. And it wasn't like every 20 minutes. It was just constant, really. And during the night, I wasn't getting any sleep because I was just constantly vomiting. And the worst day for me, I'd been up all night vomiting, and the next morning, I just couldn't leave the bathroom. And people are like queuing to go in there, and they can't come in because I'm in there. And I was sat on the toilet with a bowl in my hands, like vomiting at the same time. And then I started passing out and fainting. So I knew then that I was in trouble. Like, I couldn't look after myself, and I couldn't look after my family. And my mum got involved, and she came down and she said, look, we're going to have to call a doctor. So we called the doctor, and they said, come straight in. And it was really horrible because I had to sit in a very busy, very full doctor's waiting room, and it was full of people, and I had to sit there with this bowl in my hands. My head was basically in the bowl the whole time I was there, gagging, retching. You know, I wasn't actually sick because I'd made sure that I'd been sick everything I could be before I went in, and I didn't have any drink or anything to like throw up but the noises and everything, I might as well have been throwing up for the noises I was making. And it was just so embarrassing and humiliating for me, because people were looking at me, and obviously some of them had children, and they were very concerned that maybe I had something contagious. And I really wished I just had this sign on my forehead that said, "Don't worry, I'm not contagious, it's just severe morning sickness." But obviously that I couldn't have a sign that said that, so instead I was just absolutely mortified. Anyway, the doctor diagnosed me with hyperemesis again. He said it was very early to have hyperemesis for me, and asked me if I'd had a scan yet to rule out twins. I said I hadn't had my scan yet. And over here in the UK, we don't have scans until like 11 to 14 weeks. Even if you think there's twins, it doesn't matter. The only time that they would think about doing an early ultrasound is if they suspected it was an ectopic pregnancy or a miscarriage or something. So if there's no pains or bleeding, then they wouldn't do an ultrasound. So I'm basically in the waiting game to have my ultrasound scan to find out, is it one baby, is it two babies or more, is it okay, is the baby okay, So I'm in the same, boat as every other pregnant woman, so I'm not complaining. But when the doctor said, "Have you had your scan yet? I would want you to rule out twin pregnancy with you getting hyperemesis this early." But I'm just wondering if that was the doctor's opinion, because from what I've seen on the internet, women that get hyperemesis can have it really, really early on. So I don't know if that's anything to do with it. Anyway, so he gave me 2 different types of anti-sickness tablets and said that I had to take them, because if I wasn't improved within 5 days, I was going to be admitted to hospital for dehydration and stuff like that, and to monitor the baby. So he said, you have to take these anti-sickness tablets. He assured me they were completely safe to take in pregnancy and whilst breastfeeding and stuff like that. So, and I'd had them before in previous pregnancies, so I knew that they were okay. But it's never nice to have to take any medication when you're pregnant. But, when you have to weigh up the pros and the cons, if you can't drink any fluids, then you're going to suffer with severe dehydration, which is obviously really dangerous. And I'd end up being admitted to hospital, and I'm just not in a position where I'm privileged enough to be able to go into hospital, because I've got 4 children and a disabled husband. Being sick isn't an option, really. It's something that I just have to cope with. And obviously there are times when you can't help it, you end up in hospital. And obviously I'm very blessed that I've got close family nearby that can help, but as a rule I can't be spared. Anyway, so I started taking the anti-sickness tablets, and they kind of worked at first. They definitely stopped the vomiting, and I was able to start drinking fluids. So for the purpose that they were giving me, they worked quite well, but they didn't really take away very much of it, because with my previous pregnancies, the anti-sickness medication helped really well. I mean, yes, I still felt sick, and I still, couldn't eat a lot of foods, and I had a lot of food aversions, but with this time, I still feel like, even though I'm on 3 anti-sickness tablets a day, which is a lot, because normally they put you on 1 to 2 a day, maybe 2, and they put me on 3, and there's no way I'll be able to cut down, because I've tried missing a dose and basically I lose my meals, so that's not an option. So, but this time I take the tablets, on 3 a day, and I'm using 2 different types to try and make them work more efficiently, and I still feel like someone that's got really bad morning sickness, to the point of I'm still throwing up, just not all the time. I'll be randomly sick, and I'll still dry heave loads, and I basically, any time I go anywhere, whenever I stop the car, I end up having to find a little bush to go and dry heave into for ages, and maybe throw up, depending on if I've just eaten or not. I'm still having to make sure I've always got food in my stomach, and I have to avoid a lot of foods. I can't drink. Drinking is a really weird issue for me with this pregnancy. I can't drink water at all. I really can't drink squash or juice, even mixed in the water, because I can taste the water. I've tried bottled water, I've tried really expensive water, it makes no difference to me. My body just doesn't want it, which is really bizarre because you'd think that my body would be craving water, but apparently not. So I can't drink water or juice, I can't drink tea, I can't drink coffee, I can't drink Coke, even the diet kind. I can't, basically the only drinks that I'm able to drink right now are Fanta, the full fat type, and the cherry Lucozade. And those are pretty much the only drinks that I can have. I've tried other carbonated drinks, I've tried, fizzy orange, Sprite, and they just taste acid to me, so I can't drink them. So, yeah, definitely, and I can't drink milk either. So, obviously, drinks are a real issue for me. I still can't swallow my saliva. I'm still so much saliva. It's so excessive. I can fill up an entire cup just sat watching a bit of TV in the evenings, and it's really, really gross. And it's just the thought of it makes me feel so ill. Anyway, then I developed vertigo, and basically to the point where the whole room would be swimming around and spinning, and it was making me feel even more sick because even now, I feel like I need to hold on to something because it feels like the room's just doing this, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying, and it just gives me such a bad headache. And about 3 days ago, I'd had it for like a week, and it got to the point where I couldn't move off the sofa. I just stuck sitting there. And I said to my mum, I said, I can't do this. I can't just sit on the sofa all day. And it's not like I can sleep either because I'm spinning. When my eyes are closed, I spin even more. And it doesn't matter whether I was standing up, sitting down, because I had my first midwife appointment, and they checked my blood pressure, and it was fine. They checked my iron, and it was fine. They checked my urine, and it's fine. My sugar levels were fine. Everything was fine. And I've been monitoring it to see whether it happens when I'm standing up or sitting down, whether it's after I've eaten, before I've eaten. I've checked everything. My mum's got a home blood pressure machine, and I've been checking it regularly, and everything's completely normal. So this is obviously something pregnancy related in my head that it's nothing to do with my blood sugar or blood pressure, if that makes sense. It's not a health condition, it's a part of my brain condition. And but it got to the point where it got so bad, I phoned the midwife emergency helpline, and she said, look, you need to get, because she said, have you had this for more than an hour? And I said, yes, I've had it all day, for basically a week. And she said, are you feeling like the whole room is spinning? And I said, yes, I can't, it's awful. And she said, right, you need to get to the emergency room, you need to get to the hospital. So she said, I'm going to phone and get you an appointment right now. So my mum and my dad drove me, and my brothers came and sat with my kids, with my husband, and I went to the emergency room in the hospital local, and because it was in the evening, there was a surgery booked that was able to see me, and they gave me a different type of anti-sickness medication, which is more for vertigo as well as sickness. So they gave me that to try. And I've tried it, and it's kind of been working, but it's still, like I said, even now, I'm still really dizzy and spinny, and it's just really, really unpleasant. And yeah, so in general, I've just been feeling absolutely rough as a rat's arse. I'm sorry, but that is how I'm feeling right now. There's been times where I felt really, really in despair because I felt so ill. But I just keep holding on to the fact that I am eating, I'm keeping it down, I am drinking and I'm keeping it down. And the whole time that I'm eating and drinking, then the baby is okay and I'm okay. Yes, I might feel ill, but I'm not in any harm. It's just me feeling ill. So anyway, guys, I better go because it's gone over the time. Okay guys, I will see you for next week. See you later, bye.